So today we're gonna to talk about programming a transmitter in OpenTX, EdgeTX, and in Ethos. And you have basically two ways to do such a thing. You do this by yourself, step by step, and you follow your learning curve, which is fine because you are in control of everything. But myself, for example, with this type of transmitter, OpenTX, EdgeTX is quite popular for a decade, started with the Taranis. I don't really like to program and understand what's going on here. However, on this type of new transmitter, which is a Frsky X20 series, it's really easier. It's really more interactive. You touch the screen, it's working. But the purpose of the video is to let you discover the huge work that has been done by Mike Shellim. He did a lot of templates in the two worlds, OpenTX, EdgeTX, and Ethos program. I will introduce you on the computer on this site, Mike Shellim, because it works for a lot of type of gliders. So sorry, no radio control aircraft. It's more about gliders, F3 key, F5 key, F5G, F3F, and also in OpenTX and Edge, there are some various templates that's for more normal gliders. And I will have two bonuses. In fact, I will talk about this in the end of the video. And the first bonus is that I have updated the 6 servo F5G Ethos because it's not existing now. I did this myself. I spent 30 hours. I will like you to have a look to these templates because the level of sophistication is so high that very few of us are gonna to program such stuff. No way. And I'm not gonna to program such a thing. But I updated from 6 servo to 8 servos. So that's this type of plane like the Vertigo, for example, because I have one. And also I will show you an add-on because one problem with Ethos nowadays is that there are no software on the computer to program everything on your computer. It exists in OpenTX and EdgeTX, but it doesn't exist now for Ethos. And so Mike Shellim did an add-on that you can put on the screen that could help you to show what's going on. So even if you don't use his templates, you can use this add-on. It will help you to understand what you are doing, even without the plane. It's quite fun, no? Let's start with the OpenTX EdgeTX site of Mike Shellim. OpenTX started a decade ago with Taranis. It's very popular now, especially for the drone guys. And Mike Shellim offers many templates, in fact, for the OpenTX and EdgeTX operating system for transmitter. You have the F3 key for servos, but you have also for the Yoda a 6 servo F3 key, so a template, specific template. You have for the F5 key and F5G 6 servo. You also have F3F, and you have also for F3G. You have also, for example, an easy glider, also for the flying wings in 2 and 4 servos, and also for acrobatical gliders. And something I learned, Nicolas Ridgway showed me the way because I was not aware about this. There are some unsupported templates, which means that officially Mike Shellim do his best as possible to maintain and to modify the template. It's a huge work, thank very much. But you have some unsupported templates, and you have the 8 servo version for the F3F. You have one version for a specific receiver and specific transmitter, and also some version for 8 servo for a 5G stuff like inside Vixen. If we go now to the Ethos hangar, it's proposing some templates. Of course, there are less templates available because Ethos is an operating system for transmitters more recent. You will have the F3 key with 4 servos, F5 key. It seems to be that you have two templates here for F5G and F5G F5 key. In fact, this is the same template, and you just can switch between two modes, competition or the ISO plus. This is competition mode is adding two specific timer, one counting the 30-second motor maximum time, 10 seconds after the motor has stopped, the fast idle option to prevent the motor to stop, which will be a problem for you in competition, and it allows you to stop the motor automatically after maximum 30 seconds. So we will come back to this one in Ethos because at this exact moment no version for 8 servo are existing. And so I had modified the template of Mike Shellim. It was a huge work, 30 hours. And I will give it you. If you send me an email, I will send you my templates modified. At the end of the video, I will explain you everything about this. And so you can use it. I want to come back about the general philosophy of how these templates are working. Let's say, for example, that you want to download the files for the F5G, F5 key, 6 servo, and OpenTX. So you just go bottom of the page, and here you can download all the files. The files now are here, and this is the ISO plus underscore 3001. So I'm gonna to extract, and so I'm gonna to show you what is delivered. So you have a specific folder with all the needed sound. You have the special file for the transmitter, so you have to copy this into the transmitter. So generally speaking, I will name this as a template. I will make a copy of the template and I will modify what I need on my copy and not on the template. So in the transmitter, I would like to have all the templates and all the specific models that I have modified. For example, in OpenTX, EdgeTX, let's choose an easy one, which is EasyG, and it looks like an easy glider. And so we're gonna to open the setup guide here. First of all, you have a huge documentation, very well done, professionally done. You have everything here. It describes the different flight mode, assignment for the stick, the different mixer, the channel assignment. This one is important and you have to respect the exact order. Maybe you have a sophisticated operating system that allow you to reassign the channel into the receiver, but basically you have to stay with this one. The most important is to start by the core mode, which is a special mode to calibrate your servo. This is like a procedure, and this procedure, core mode, is used for every template that I have used for the moment. After you will go into some specific mixer. So this is the calibration procedure. You start by the elevator, the rudder, And after you start by the right arrow and the left arrow, and again you have to follow the procedure because generally speaking you have a 3 points curve for the right arrow and a 5 points curve for the left arrow, and the second one is trying to match the first one. That's how it works. And we only have two arrow here, we have no flap. When everything is done, you can start to configure your input and your mixer and to reverse the servo if needed. And you start to set up your different compensation. So there are many compensation in sophisticated gliders. And anytime you can go into the mixer to change on the field the value. So if you have too much compensation, you can go into the specific mixer, and therefore you can change this compensation until you are happy with the result. This one is quite important because you have here all the inputs, the flight mode, all the mixer with the list, that's a spreadsheet, with the original channels for the servo and the aggregator, and now the channel for the calculation. You have here the specific mixer for the V-tail, because I forgot to tell you that you can choose X-tail or V-tail. It's just an option, you just choose 0 or 1. And now we have the global variable curve, the logical switch. So when you open this, you start to understand the huge work behind. And you think that you're not gonna to do this by yourself. Personally, I'm not capable to do such a thing. And I think that many people couldn't. And now you have the special function. That's how it works. So that's quite impressive. And this is only in OpenTX. And in OpenTX, you have possibility to program everything on the computer, which is really handy and really easier. Now we're gonna to watch the same program for 5G in Ethos. That's about the control, that's about the flight modes, that's about the timer, that's about the mixer. And that's really impressive. That's only about the channels with 6 servo, 4 servo for the wing, 1 servo for the rudder, 1 servo for the elevator, and 7 servo for the motor. And so here you can see all the aggregator, all the calculator, the configuration settings. It's like some specific mixer, the curve that used, the logical switches. So that's quite insane. So I wanted to open this documentation to show you how it's professionally done and to show you the complexity, and it's unlikely that you're gonna to reach this level of program, and especially on Ethos, because Ethos at this day don't have any software available on the computer to program like in OpenTX. So you have to do this by yourself manually on the transmitter. So I would like now to show you the philosophy on the transmitter, and it depends on the type of template. So for example, for Frsky, you have the classical switch for the speed, cruise, and thermal function. And you have one additional one that allow you to have more flaperon, thermal 1, thermal 2. So you have two positions for the flaps. You have, and this is in blue specific to the Frsky launch zone. That's allow you to set up the elevator differently for the launch time and the zoom. And now you have something that is more classical on every template in red. So generally speaking, you have, instead of trim for the rudder, you have the differential aileron. We are now in the English mode. We are in mode 1. You have the camber trim for the flap, and you still have the trim aileron like it should be, and you have the aileron trim with a brake compensation, with here, the red one. So if we go to another one, so let's use this one, that's Frsky, I don't know this template. We can see that we have also a specific switch for speed cruise thermal, it's very classical, and the zoom and the launch, like in Frsky. We have the same aileron diff, use it, spoiler compensation, and also snap flap. And we have a slider with the camber fine that is allowed here. And we have a switch for the launch, the camber, specific camber, and for the zoom. So that's specific for F3G. If we go now to this one, F5G, F3 key, we have a specific switch for the motor, the slider for the motor, the same switch speed cruise thermal, the core compensation, and the usual aileron diff plus an additional slider for the camber to control the camber of the flap. It works like this all the time. If you don't like the position of the function, you can, of course, switch on another switch or switch on another slider. I wanted to introduce you to a widget that has been developed by Mike Shellim for the Ethos system. I told you that one of the problems is that you have no software on the computer to do the work. So I had developed this widget that you can put into the transmitter. And this widget is simply showing you the different action on the switches and on the channels. For example, actually,
landing, cruise.
I can't see what happens with the arrow right now.
Landing.
With the crow right now.
Cruise.
I can see the action on the rudder and the elevator. So I can check the direction of the channel. I can check if the motor
armed.
So the motor now is armed and now is in action. Power is in action. You can check many things. So for example,
fast idle, disarm to stop.
Stop at
20 seconds. Motor disarmed. Cruise.
Stop at the motor. So we need to wait the 10-second beep. That will be okay. So where to find this widget? Of course, you have to go to the sa.com ethos site of Mike Shellim, and just to go to the widget DevMon. So you just have seen this on my transmitter, and you just have to download it. So let's look how you should install this. So you have to use the widget configuration menu and to call the DevMon widget that you have downloaded on the SD card. Choose the type of mode that you want to display, absolute or relative. So one of the biggest problems I have encountered with Ethos is when I bought this plane Vertigo 2 with 6 servo, flap roll and arrow. because in Ethos no templates was available, so I had to work on it by myself. I used, of course, the references spreadsheets that have been done by Mike Shellim to change and upgrade the program and update it with 2 additional channels. It looks like easy, but the task is huge because there are many channels used as aggregator, and in fact I ended with some things like 50 channels used and more than 110 or 20 mixers in total. If you need such template in Ethos, I will be happy to give you mine. But be careful because you know that Ethos is all time updated, and now it's a version 1.5, and my template is for version 1.3. So don't use my templates at all if you have already updated all your stuff Frsky in 1.5 version. In the future, I will maybe update my template. I put detail of what I added. So for example, I needed to add many things like channel 34, channel 35, channel 31, 30, 30, 33, 32. So it's in yellow right now. I tried to make a documentation of every move, every change that has been done. In my program, you will also have some additional feature. So for example, I have changed the motor position because I dislike the sliders that is used on the left, and I far prefer a switch. So my program is using a switch 3 position for the motor with the second switch that is the security switch that allows the motor to be armed. And I also have a special switch that allows you to retrieve and to tell you the value of your altitude, because I use some altimeters give me the value of the altimetry and also the value of the tension in the receiver. So don't be shy. Send me an email if you want to have this program. If it can help you, I will be happy to give it to you.